Ooh, it's working, I believe. Yay! I had some issues with my software, but I think it should be working now. There's nobody here. Good. Let's have a look. Right, seems to be working, I think. So I'll continue. Right, so I've just released 1.1.5, and is there a simple way to upgrade a process, perhaps? Usual way is just git pull npm install. If you ask on the Discord, or there's some wiki information as well at the bottom of the install stuff. It depends totally how you've installed the application, but most of the documentation does show how to update. Right. So I'm just gonna go through alerts basically today because it's a new feature and I haven't gotten around to writing any instructions yet for exactly how to use them. Right, so you can now find alerts here in the corner, and at the minute it defaults to all printers, and eventually I will allow separating that out so you can send to any printer you want. So for now it will just do global across the farm. There's no real alerts that you'd really want for specific printers, I don't think. Unless anybody's got any ideas, feel free to log some feature requests for it. Da, 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 da. Right, so to set one up, you come to this screen and you're automatically presented with the new alerts box. So we can choose from print done, which is just basically when a print completes. Print failed. Now that's OctoPrint's notification for event for when a print is either cancelled or a print is encounters an error. Basically, I think it stops the print. That's what shows up in history on OctoFarm for previous versions when you get the little red exclamation mark for errors or the thumbs down for cancel. Paused, yeah, just when a print's paused, anytime that command's actioned, well, anytime OctoPrint itself detects a pause. Print cooled, now that is only going to work if your print is in the complete status. So whenever your print completes, OctoFarm shows it as complete in the current operations, and then when that state hits below whatever you've got set in here, so if we go in your settings, you will have other settings and you've got these cooldown triggers here. So whatever you've got set here, when your tool and bed temperature reaches that threshold, it will trigger this notification. What else have we got? The other one was print error. So this is Octoprint again. It's its own little command. So When it detects an error, basically, so any serial error, thermal runaway error, just be aware, obviously, you might get duplicates if you've got a print failed on as well, because I think the print failed will fire for error and failed. Personally, I just keep it on print error because failed, it captures cancels, and I don't really need a notification to tell me I've cancelled my print. So, to get started then, let's add a script. I've got one in here on print failed. So to add a new one, we just pick uh, pick our location, put where your script is, and then whatever you want. There's a variable list here, and this information will get pulled through, and it'll replace any of these tags with your variable. So you get a little example down there what it looks like. And I have one here, so I can do that. You can test the script, which you will get the whatever system you're running on will give a output, and you will get that on there. So there you go. And you can see mine's all set up with GoTify, and it hasn't replaced the variables because it's just testing it, so there's no variables to replace. But that will show you that your script's actually working at the very least. So if I save that, we get a new script in print done. Right, so basically then if I go to my list view and I click print, we'll see it started printing. Progress is ticking up on my virtual printers. Click cancel. There we go. We get a failed notification. So I've had no printer name in there, and that's not pulled through the IP, which it should have done. I love finding bugs when you're streaming live. So yeah, that's failed printing on the Delta. Blah blah blah. Calibration cube. It was 10.94% through the print, and there was no current Z height because it didn't travel anywhere. That's it. So my script is basically a curl script, and I've written it in Bash. So when OctoFarm sends the alert, you will get a message variable and your entire message. So what you put into here will get sent through as a single variable. So if you've got a little bit more complicated scripts like text messages, services, stuff like that, you'll probably need a wrapper around those scripts, especially if you want to split out like phone numbers or I don't know, whatever you send in these notifications. Mine, I've just kept it simple. I just include that variable there, which sends through to my gnotify server, GoTify, and it just basically runs a curl command and then replaces the message. This obviously will be it is system agnostic, but it will, obviously the setup will require your system. Well, it'll be specific to your system. I can't seem to get my words out today. That is really about it. I mean, yeah. If anybody wants help with setting up scripts for a specific use case, then come along to the Discord or the newly created Facebook group. Same with if anybody wants help with upgrading or anything like that. I'm active on there quite a lot, so I can quite happily walk you through the process. But there is documentation in the wiki if you'd like to go check that. Right, what else? Not really sure what else. That's about it for the alerts. You can edit them, save them there. So print on print field. There will be more triggers coming soon. I want to do a date trigger, so more like I don't know, a farm update, which will send you, I don't know, whatever you want. All available printers that are currently active. Yeah, let me know what you do with it. Show me some cool scripts on Discord. The variable list will probably be growing if you've got ideas. I mean, somebody has already asked for the history ID passing through, which will take a bit of rejiggering with the current coded implementation, but that can be done. He wants to link it all back, so like his system sets it up with SQL, which I'm currently avoiding giving support for. But yeah, his system uses SQL, so he can link it straight back into the database, and he's been on about doing labels for his customers, so it automatically prints a label when the print's finished. But yeah, that's alerts. Yeah, if you've got any more ideas, I'm happy to hear them. The implementation is quite basic at the moment. I just wanted to get something in there, make sure it all works properly. Yeah, like I mean, I could probably fire through current filament you've got on there. I don't know. I don't know what else people want. Let me know what you want. Tell me. Lend me your ears, or I'll lend you my ears. Da, 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 da. With this version, there has been a lot of change to the back end with the server-side settings. You can now activate all these. Well, change all these on the back end. If you change something, that's yeah. I found a bug that's currently broken. I will push a fix for that at some point shortly. Um, yeah, you don't really have to change these anymore. A lot of this was put in for some issues with Prusa printers and people with file issues. It wasn't scanning, well, it wasn't waiting for large file lists to come back. So, like the API initial timeout would have been good for that, and same with the secondary timeout. But you can pretty much leave these default or have a play if you really want to try and see what they do. But it's just all the different systems inside of OctoFarm that's keeping track of everything. You can turn off login and registration as well. Currently, I think, so if I turn off login, yes, I would like to restart. Does it actually work? Oh, I'm on my testing instance, it's not going to work. That will require it started with PM2, which the new npm start script will automatically run with PM2. Yeah, that's about it. With all the views are all live, working. Yeah, anybody wants to let me know any more ideas for alerts and everything else, then yeah, like I say, come along to the Discord. But that's literally it. I've added some new statistics and stuff in File Manager. Um, yeah, I put myself on the spot with this, and I haven't really had a clue what I was going to actually talk about. Filament Manager, that's been updated. We can now link it to, so if I drag my personal instance with my two printers on, yes, I made OctoFarm because I've got two printers and I couldn't be asked opening two separate tabs. So if we now go into Filament, we can see that I've got mine linked. So when you go into your server settings, you can go Filament Manager and you can fully sync it up with the Filament Manager database. I think I mentioned my plans in the last video to update that a little bit more and maybe take over control of the plugin. Depends what happens really, but I just see it a bit pointless of using the two databases the way it's set up currently. But with Filament Manager plugin activated, you will get used remaining, and it will start tracking your weight. Without Filament Manager, so if I go into this one, like history for example, if you've got no filament selected, it's not going to be able to calculate your filament cost, and it won't do that for cancelled anyway because OctoPrint doesn't report a filament usage. Uh, bu- 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 bu. But yeah, so you'll just get basic weight enough to calculate the price and well cost and everything of your print and your profiles and all that lot. And also, I've just changed it now with when you don't have Filament Manager, you can put multiple spools on multiple printers. Um, Originally, it didn't allow that, and it's a bit pointless to be honest because yeah, it doesn't really track anything for the print. So what's the point of stopping you doing that? So without Filament Manager, you can have as many spools on as many printers as you want. With Filament Manager, it will limit you to one spool per printer, pretty much. So like here, I can only select the CR10, and I won't be able to select this on CR10. But here I can. History, also because of the changes in the database, I probably should make you aware. Um, so printers got an update with the settings panel. So you can input your cost information. The defaults might be a little high, and it doesn't currently link to the cost plugin, but that is something I did want to do. If the settings are there, I might as well pull the values through because it's exactly the same values. So because of that, your history might not display printer costs correctly, which is just worked out from the time. So you can now go into here and you can update the costs. You can only update the costs if your printer's in the database still. I forgot about that. So if you've deleted a specific printer out of the database, it's not going to find your costs. And that's also same with a filament. So if I have a filament here, I can save the filament changes and then give that a refresh, and then it'll update and pull all the costs back in. Now that totally depends how pedantic you want to be with your history. Um, I don't envision any more changes happening to history, but if they do, I will always try and make it backwards compatible or at least updatable. Because I don't really want to do what I did with Filament Manager, where I just stop all the old ones working. Just doesn't seem like tennis. But yeah, that's it. Literally that quick update. Uh, but yeah, don't know what else to say. But that's me done. I'm going to sign off now. Hopefully that's helped people have a little bit more understanding of how the script system works. But it's literally simple. You just point it to your script, which looks like that, and pass in a variable, and then everything else is set up in the background. Keeps it nice and simple. Yeah. Then I'm trying to work out whether it's worth having more variables or not. I'm not really sure it is. It totally depends what's your use case for the system. So obviously I don't really print at the scale everybody else does. So if you do have a use case, then yeah, just let me know. Drop in a feature request. I'll come chat about it on the Discord. But apart from that, I'm going to bugger off and enjoy my furloughed Friday. Everybody have a good day, and I'll see you all later. Bye.